Hi everyone, it's Harry T. I just wanted to come on here and share some thoughts with you, as I normally do. People do like to pick my brain, and let's be honest, it's a good brain to pick, if I do say so myself. But I just have been doing a lot of contemplating, which I think is always good because reflection and contemplation is always a good thing. But also in terms of the events that are going on in Los Angeles right now, it's really tragic and devastating in so many ways, heartbreaking beyond measure. Most people know I've shared this publicly, and most people who have followed me for ages know this. Apart from my home city of Melbourne, I've spent most of my adult life in Los Angeles. That's the second city that I've spent most of my life in, apart from my hometown of Melbourne. I have a lot of friends in Los Angeles, I have a lot of family in LA. In fact, I've got cousins that are born and raised in Los Angeles, so it's very dear to me for many reasons. And I actually was there in 2018 when the Malibu fires happened. I don't think I've actually shared this publicly, but I was there. I remember I had taped Larry King, I think it was the week before. I had just taped Larry King. I remember I was on Larry King's show. I think it was the week after that, or maybe a little bit more. I can't remember exactly the dates, but I remember that I was in Los Angeles and the fires in Malibu broke out. And I also had friends in Malibu, and they were all evacuating, and it was tragic back then. And I remember where I was, I could see the fires and I could smell the smoke, and it's a very surreal experience when you're in it. And I remember thinking I had never seen anything like that before, so close. It didn't get to the area that I was, but I could see the fire and I could smell the smoke. And this was 2018. What's just happened now in Los Angeles is worse. I think it's the worst fires they've ever had. And it's just heartbreaking. I mean, I've been checking in with my friends and family pretty much daily, and so many people I know have had to evacuate. So many homes that I've been to are completely burnt to the ground and they're just rubble now. So many people that I know, their businesses are gone. It's really heartbreaking. Their homes, their livelihoods, their entire lives have changed like that. And I think we just need to really band together in times like this and really focus on what really matters. I watched a video of this man who I believe was at work when the fires broke out and was rushing back to get back to his home because he had dogs. He had 2 dogs in his home and he wasn't able to get to them or something like that. And then I believe that one dog was rescued and he got that one dog, but he didn't see the other one. They couldn't find the other one. So I think it was about 5 days. The other dog was still missing and he was like heartbroken, he was distraught. And then I saw a video that they found the dog. 5 days later, among all the rubble, the dog comes rushing and he was, basically ecstatic that, his baby, because in many ways that is his baby, was reunited with him. And that moment, watching that video and his cries of relief to see that, he had both dogs with him now. I mean, that was just really something. And it sort of made me think, you know what would someone take in those situations? But also, what if someone's not in their home? That they don't have the opportunity to take anything. Like this man, he didn't have the opportunity to take his things or his dogs. So it's really something you've got to really think about, and you almost can't put yourself in these people's shoes because what they've gone through is just next level. And I just think that, look, if you're the praying type, I really encourage you to please continue to pray for Los Angeles. It's not over. The winds are increasing and the fires have not stopped. And there's this big water problem that's going on, and I don't want to get into that because that's not for now. I think when this is all over, and dealt with, things will need to be looked at. There's no question. But right now, we just need to keep praying that everyone is okay. And, I mean, there have been deaths. Something that really got to me, and I'm not going to get emotional, but I was watching a mother who had a broken arm, talking about her son, who was born legally blind, who had cerebral palsy, and he was Australian. So, you know, that sort of, already you think, okay, like, what's happening? And then when she tells the story of, you know, when the fires broke out because of the embers, remember that this is spread because of all the embers that are flying around, because in all corners of Los Angeles, it's on fire. I was on the phone to a friend of mine in LA who was fine, and then half an hour later was not, and was evacuating. So it's the wind is just carrying these embers. Anyway, this lady was talking about how the embers had fallen onto her home, and her son was in the back of the house, and she couldn't carry him out because she had a broken arm. So she tried to hose it down, but she had no water. No water was coming out. Again, that's something that, anyway. So then she went to the local fire department and said, you need to help me. I believe her son's name was Rory. You need to come and help me. My son, you know, he can't move and I can't carry him, and the house is on fire and I've got no water. And they said to this lady, this poor woman, we have no water either. And I can only imagine what she thought in that moment. The horror she would have thought and felt. And then they rushed to get back. And by the time they got back, the house was gone. And just knowing that that poor guy, I mean, he was 32, so young, you know, and he overcame so much of his disability, and she was talking about that. So, you know, for people who know this story that I'm talking about, you know, this man, Rory, I'm pretty sure that was his name, overcame so many obstacles. You know, people were telling him, you know, he'll never walk, he'll never see, and, you know, he overcame so much. And I believe he did like TEDx talks and all of that, and hearing the mother talk about him was just so moving. But just knowing that there was nothing anyone could do, and he could not physically remove himself from that scenario, that really got to me. So yeah, I just want to encourage people to please continue to pray for Los Angeles, because it's really going through a lot, and it's very close to my heart. And, you know, many people that I love are affected by this, and I think there's so much out there, there's so much hate out there in this world and on social media, and it needs to stop. People, you know, they spew venom and hate just because of everything these days. You can't even say how are you without someone attacking you for saying how are you. It needs to stop. The world needs to get back into the center and regain peace. But, you know, I want to end with saying, in moments of crisis and chaos, rebuilding always comes from it. There's a reordering that comes from chaos. There's a reordering that comes from crisis. So even though right now it's devastating and tragic, and we just have to keep praying that it ends sooner rather than later, there will be a reordering. Because that's what happens. Through crisis, when it ends, reordering comes. For fresh opportunities. It always does. It always happens. Behind every storm, there's a rainbow. I believe that. And there will be. And you know, as someone who has spent so much of my life in Los Angeles, the people of LA are good people. They're strong people. And quite honestly, I don't think there's really many people out there in the world like the people of California. They're amazing. And I'm not just saying that because my family and friends are from there, but truly they're remarkable. So we need to pray for them, and just know that LA will get through this, and one day they will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever. But in the meantime, please stay safe. Know that my thoughts are with you, and God bless you all, and I'm praying for you all. Oh, and on that note, try not to get emotional. On that note, there was another story that I wanted to share because I posted about it on my Instagram. I think it went to my Facebook as well, about how that family, I think they were called the Haplin family from my memory, or Halpin family, something like that. They lost their home and everything was burnt to rubble. And they went back to the site of their home to see, you know, I mean, they knew it was burnt down, but they just, I suppose, wanted to go back to the site. And all that was left standing was a statue of the Virgin Mary and a little statue of Saint Joseph. And they wept and like fell to their knees in prayer, because what was so remarkable about this story is they've lost everything, but they didn't lose their faith. They were very devout and big believers in God and Jesus. And this story went viral, that they lost everything. Their home is complete rubble, and all that was remaining was the Virgin Mary statue and this little Saint Joseph. And that really almost like shined a glimmer of hope. Because even in this chaos and this tragedy, there was that light that was still there. And I think that is very symbolic of what will be the aftermath eventually. So please continue to have faith and stay strong, and God bless you. We love you, Los Angeles, and we are thinking of you. Bye.